Hi and welcome to Home Assistant running on Synology. Today I will be making a second part of the video, 1 year later, of my own setup. We'll start in 10 seconds. Before we begin today's episode, I really would like to thank all the members who have joined my channel. Your support really means a lot. Thank you. And now let's get cracking with the video. A year ago, exactly on the 29th of December of 2019, I recorded a video featuring my own setup. 1 year has passed and it's now time to revisit what I have been doing in the last year. Also, I have made a brief survey with my family. What are the pluses and what are the minuses of living in a, let's call it like that, smart home? So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what I found after talking with my family about the system. First, I've asked my wife what she likes the most at the system and what she hates the most. The one thing that she said she hated about the system is that when she's streaming something to the Google Nest display in the kitchen or living room, and there is a notification that this notification stops the stream and she has to manually restart it. Unfortunately, this is a known issue if you were using Google Home integration inside Home Assistant, and I've already started working on that to mitigate this. For this, I have installed Assistant Relay, and in next coming days or weeks, I will be moving all the notifications from the text-to-speech to this Assistant Relay that uses broadcast to send either commands or messages. Then she told me that the one thing that she really likes the most is the night lights, meaning that she doesn't have to turn the lights on during the night, and when there is a motion detected, the lights turn themselves on. Then I talked with my youngest daughter about what she likes the most and what she doesn't like or dislikes. And she says that the one thing that she loves the most at the system is her good morning routine, meaning that she has a nice text-to-speech message, then the light starts slowly to turn on, and then she has a radio playing inside the room. My oldest daughter said that she loves the notifications on her mobile phone. For example, weather warnings such as rain, snow, or lightning storms, or things like that. Why is this important? Because every single one of us that is doing the system, unless he speaks with the end user, ends up with a system that is perfect in theory, but sometimes lacks in usability for other family members. And this is something that I will be doing more frequently in the future to try to tweak out all the things that are annoying to them and to make the system more aware of them and their routines and what they want this system to do. Okay, now let's get cracking with the fun stuff. If you have seen my previous video, if not, I'll be leaving here a link to it. A lot has changed, especially since the last version was running 0.113.5 and now we are on 2020.12.1. I now have more tabs here, also more integrations or more links on the left side. On the main screen, I try to keep only the things that I'm really interested to see every time, but I still haven't tweaked this to be exactly what I need. For example, I don't care about this, nor do I care about this, so those are the things that will be moved somewhere else or completely removed. What I have here is of course my internet speed, because this is something that I want to see whenever I look at the screen. Second thing is the status of the heating. As you can see, there is currently one room in the heating status. Then I have information about my channel, current subscriber count, and the latest video. Well, this wouldn't be 2020 if we wouldn't have this here. This is the information about Croatia and worldwide. Next thing that I find very informative on the front page is this information about the garbage. I'm using custom component that includes integration itself and also custom card. This gives me information on what day I have to take any kind of a waste outside. This is also integrated with the automations, meaning that every morning I get the same notification on my mobile phone. Not just me, but also my wife. I don't think that kids get it. Some quick information, statistics, how long the system was up and running, what is the current version, and what is the last 24 hours of TV time. my other tabs are divided in such a way that they give some sense either to me or to my family members. Next tab is outdoor information or weather information or anything related to the air quality, weather, etc. We have soon to be gone dark sky, AccuWeather, UV levels, air quality, PM, particle matter information, also pulled from the Luftdaten website and Luftdaten locally, and meteor alarm. To be honest, I don't use this page here that much, but for example, when I get the verbal or notification via Google Assistant or Google Home and I do not understand what the weather warning was, I sometimes go here and check what is the instruction or description of the event. And I would say that this is the most, let's call it like that, popular notification at our house, because we get warnings from a meteor alarm about the sudden cold, heat waves, storms, wind gusts, etc. Anything that can pose threat to either home or people. Particle matter sensors, I currently run 2 of them and I will probably have a third one in the future embedded inside air filter. This information here is all pulled from the same sensor, and this is the DIY Luftdaten indoor-outdoor air quality sensor. Next thing is lights. Here I think I have most of the lights, if not all of the lights. They are divided in groups. So for example, you can turn all kitchen, all dining room, living room, bedroom and my daughter's room's lights from this place. You can also control Elgato key light air from here, and my tag reader by Andrea Dono is also connected here. I do use this page, but not that often. For example, sometimes my wife yells from the upper floor, "Oh, turn this light on or turn that light on," and then instead of using voice control, I use this page to control the lights in that specific room. These 2 are my kids' room. Each of them has, I would say, everything that she needs and everything that she can get from the system for her specific room. So for example, this one tells us if she, my daughter, the oldest one, is here or not. Then we have here 2 light controls for the table light and the ceiling light. This is her floor light, and yes, she has Quindor's Dig Uno or Dig Uno board with the 5 meter 12 volt LED strip in her room. Then she has ability to control radio from her own page. She can push text notification, or since this is pre-configured for her room, I can use this to push notification or message to her room. Here we have a map with the location, and this is related to the school. Is she currently running in an online or classical mode for school? She is in online mode. This is indicator of whether her week is B or A, meaning does she have school in the afternoon or in the morning? Is she having school day tomorrow and today? And no, she doesn't, because it's vacation time here in Croatia. And how many days are left for this school year? More or less same thing goes for my youngest daughter. Is she home? Temperature in her room, radio, ability to push notification, her own Quindor's Dig Uno board, ability to control directly couple of lights, and also information about her school. Next, I have this page, which is not used, I would say, by anybody except for me. And here I use it mostly to check the status of specific sensor or entity, then to control something. Here I have information about my LG TV. It is currently offline. If I would be using Netflix, it would show it here. If I would be using live TV or watching live TV, it would be shown here. Here are all the Google Home devices, TV devices, information from my Ambi, and of course my radio station integration. The next page is all about climate. I now have 4 rooms, which in theory are really 3 rooms, but I divided it in a section. So these are the kids' rooms, we have a living room, we have dining room. These 2 are more or less in the same or open space, but now I use them to control the temperature differently. Information about the minimum maximum temperature, current room temperatures, humidity. Then we have bathroom information. Bathroom is using Xiaomi sensor, so I track both bathroom humidity and temperature. This is the information about the heating, is it running, and let's call it that, with what force is the heating running to heat that room. Yeah, I'm not satisfied with this one. I will have to completely redesign and move everything. This was used to see how many hours was each of the rooms requesting heat. The next section is something that I'm proud of. It still has a lot of room for progress to make it more prettier, but this is where I see information about my electricity usage. Yes, I'm now using only Shelly devices, all other devices have been removed. So these are the graphs. I can see information about the peak and off-peak electricity usage, monthly energy usage, washing machine, current consumption and total consumption, and some statistics both for day, month, quarter and year. One thing that I've added is the ability to track the day-night energy, and day-night energy is not used but can be used for any system that has a solar component. So for example, if you have solar power, you can track how much energy has been used during the day and during the night. And this can help you optimize your system or battery packs to provide electricity during the nighttime. And two of the graphs that I think are very interesting. This one is showing the electricity usage with both minimum and maximum. But it's also showing here visually what is the difference between the day usage and night usage. And this is a new addition. I've been using custom cards for this. This one is also great for all the people that have also the solar power or wind power or some kind of electricity production by themselves. It can show you how much you are pulling from the grid, how much is used by home. For example, if you would have solar, then you can have solar input to the house and you can have a difference if your house is producing more electricity or spending more electricity. This is really nice card. Let's now jump to cameras. I have now one camera more. This is the reeling camera and I have been talking and recording videos about it. So what I have here, I have two cameras that monitor the space in front of the apartment. Then I have one camera that's been now moved to the 3D printer. It's still not positioned permanently, but yeah, we'll see about that. These two images are the last images that were saved and tracked by the system, and Facebook tried to do face recognition on them. And this one is related to the face recognition or camera system. Are the webhooks working? The thumbnail of the last image, Facebook detection, and that's it. This tab has been also reworked. This one tracks my synology. This here is a synology. This is the additional information about the UPS. If you track my GitHub page, you have seen that I've been working on this. Unfortunately, during the earthquake, I had a problem with the UPS. It was running short. Then somebody also mentioned that when power is restored, IKEA lights go to state turned on as a previous state. So I was working on automations that would track if the power has switched from mains to the UPS and also returned back to check if the lights are on, to turn them off and things like that. This is the new integration. This is my MikroTik integration. It's showing statistics about my network, how my external or internet is working, what are the speeds, etc. This is just basic information about the router itself. Then I have 3D printer. I'm not printing currently anything, but I use this page when I start to print and when I print to track my prints. Yeah, you can see the damage to the build plate, unfortunately, I made a couple of weeks ago. Here you can track all the statistics about the print, but also you can use this emergency stop or cancel print. And I did use it a couple of times. I would say that this page is one of the pages that I use most. Next one is my plant information. Only 4 sensors are up. My 5th board, which has been sitting on my desk for some time, has still not been installed because I'm saving it to record the new version of the high grow plant firmware by Pesser. Here you can see information when the plants were last charged, information when the sensor was updated, and of course the status of the lights. Then I have a new tab that shows the status of the battery. It has now been divided into sections. One is showing plant batteries, the other one phone batteries. Then I have my Xiaomi sensors and IKEA. This one is the old tab and it's tracking the Edgard status. I will probably create one new network one and move all the network related stuff to that. Then I have one I called Doomsday, and yeah, maybe you've noticed that I created a couple of videos that I called Evil Layer Bunker. So I keep here all the things that are really not mandatory to have, but are such a nice features that I love to have them. This one is tracking radiation with some radiation warnings and counters. We have two 2020 sensors, and this one is tracking lightning strikes and earthquakes. And yes, unfortunately, we did have again earthquake yesterday, 6 o'clock in the morning, 2 or better to say 3 of them. This page here is used for testing purposes. Here I keep stuff that is currently being worked on, that I do not know where to put on, and yeah. So let's call it like that, possible future graveyard. This is the information about 2 Minecraft servers. One is down and the one I'm currently not playing anymore. Information about my Xiaomi mosquito sensor, air quality trends. This one can be removed because I use this to check if automations are working or not. This is related to the Xiaomi vibration sensor, and yeah, as you can see, it still doesn't have even a name because I really do not know what I would do with it. I do not find it very useful. Even with all the tricks and hacks I did to it, it's still not doing what I would like it to do. Here is the information about timers, power consumption, but yeah, I will remove that also. Some of the sensors that are currently offline. This is my AS3935 sensor, and this is my CCS811. And the information about my printer. It's currently offline or unavailable because, yeah, that happens. If the printer is in the standby, when Home Assistant starts, it just doesn't pick up the information from the printer even later on. This is the information about my system. Here I can at a glance see what is my latest Travis CI status, information about my log. It's currently only logging warn or higher messages inside log. Do I have any HACS updates? Is my Proxmox running or what containers are running in Proxmox? Quick glance of all the repositories here. Do I have Home Assistant update? And then some system statistics. This is a very simple counter that shows me how many entities, input selects, plant sensors, timers, etc. I have in my system. Then I have something that's not working because I changed this from the Raspberry Pi 0W to the Arduino, and I still haven't been able to embed it inside my home system. And that's one of the problems that I'm currently trying to figure out how to do. Then we have here tracking information. As you can see, yeah, couple of packages. My calendar. And also the new thing here is my configuration page. Since I've been starting to implement some of the things in the system, I had to create a configuration page, not the typical YAML configuration page, but the configuration page that would allow me to change the status of some things. For example, here I can turn the switch on and off if the school is online or not. Here I can set up at what times I want evening reports. Is the guest mode enabled or not? Do I receive audio or text notifications? And some information about silent hours. So more or less this is what people can see from the system, but seeing this is not all the things that this system does. A lot of the things are under the hood. So what has changed? Well, first of all, I'm not using Home Assistant Core anymore. I have moved to Home Assistant or HASIO version. And yes, I'm running it on Synology, so I have it in an unsupported and unhealthy state. The latest version of Supervisor is up, but unfortunately, yeah. I do have a lot of components that I moved from my Home Assistant Docker to add-ons. These are ESP Home, Mosquito Broker, Node-RED, Visual Studio Code, and Zigbee to MQTT. And one of the components that has been definitely the most developed in the last year was this Zigbee to MQTT. Previously, I had 2 additional components. One was Zigbee to MQTT Map, allowing me to see map, and the other one was Zigbee to MQTT Assistant, allowing me to control everything through the web interface. But as Zigbee to MQTT is really nicely developing, we now have this web page. Here are all my Zigbee devices. Oh, Zigbee devices, 35 of them. I have here map. It will take some time for it to load. Here you can now set some settings, configure groups, touch links, etc. I do have media browser set up, but I'm not using it. But one of the other things that I wanted to talk about is my automations. Don't forget that all my files, automations, configurations, integrations, all my YAML code is also available on the GitHub. A link to GitHub you can always find in the description of the video. So let's briefly go through some of the automations. This almost midnight lights dim and midnights are two automations that are run before midnight. One, almost midnight, just warns me that it's almost time to go to bed, and this is mostly used as a notification for me to get the dog out. The second one, midnight, turns all the lights in the apartment off, but it also triggers some other things. For example, it sends me daily energy usage to my mobile phone and also logs the daily energy usage into a CSV file. As you can see, this is this daily energy use. I have here information about plants. The new one that I created just yesterday, after yet another earthquake, is this earthquake alert. We have a couple of face detections. They are used by the face box to notify me if the face was recognized or not. This one is used to clean the TTS cache. This one is used to alert me if there is a front door activity and there is no one home. And this one is used if there is somebody home but the door has been left open. Some GitHub hooks, HCS updates, Home Assistant shutdown and startup notifications, informations about the update as a notification and notification dismissal, warnings about the low ink status in the printer, lighting notifications, motion inside living room, some scripts that are related to my oldest daughter, meteo alarm, Nickelodeon has been watched too long, sunrise notification, change of the tariff for peak and off-peak, warning about the particle matters, warning about the radiation, school on and off, energy status set to either sunrise or day or sunset night, webhooks for the cameras, warnings for the heater, some tags in regard to the Andrea Donos tag reader, and a lot of Telegram stuff. As I've said, all those automations can be seen on my GitHub repository. So, yeah, what's next? Well, one of the things I will definitely be watching out in 2021 is the development of Home Assistant, HAS.io version, and running it on unsupported hardware such as Synology. I have already started preparing backup, and backup will of course be to move it to the core version and to move again all the components from add-ons to the individual Docker containers. Second thing, as I said, I will be implementing a new broadcast for Google Assistant or Google Home to move all the TTS notifications from embedded ones to this relay version. And I think that this really wraps up the story about my system and what has changed and how I do things now in 2020. Be sure to subscribe so you can follow me also in the 2021. And this is it for this second part or 1 year later review of my system. I really do hope that you found here something useful. If you have any kind of a comment or a question in regard to my setup, any of the automations or integrations, please drop me a line on the Discord server or feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you still haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified on the future updates. And I'll be seeing you next time. Happy New Year and bye bye.